Hey everyone, my name is Mike. I'm a physician in New York City who's been working on the front lines of the coronavirus pandemic. I'm a socialist and a member of Left Voice. I saw some things on throughout the media over the past day or so that I think need some reflection on. It was recently reported that a 17-year-old boy in Lancaster, California, died suddenly, likely of coronavirus. The boy, who had no previous health conditions, was sick for a few days. On Friday, he was healthy, and by Wednesday, he was dead. On Wednesday, he went to urgent care and was not feeling well, but since he had no health insurance, the urgent care center declined to treat him. He was directed to transfer to a nearby hospital, but en route, he went into cardiac arrest. He arrived at the nearby hospital, was revived, but died hours later. In a YouTube address, Mayor of Lancaster, Rex Paris, gave his condolences and stated how we lost a 17-year-old boy. We lost a 17-year-old boy? No. A 17-year-old boy was killed on Wednesday night. A 17-year-old boy was killed by a capitalist economic system and a for-profit healthcare system that puts profit accumulation above all else. Explain to me how we can live in a country that allows one man to have a net worth of over 100 billion, but still allows for someone to be turned away due to their health insurance status. Let me be clear. The for-profit healthcare system killed this boy, just as it has killed many others from either denying them health care or economically destroying patients and their families. In this system, health and well-being are secondary to profit accumulation, period. It's interesting that politicians like Paris continue to use this type of passive language, misidentifying the real problems at hand. They never remotely touch upon how their maintenance of exploitative, oppressive symptoms may be to blame. Let's take another politician as example, shall we? America's new darling, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Oh, isn't he just so dreamy? Each day I haven't been working in the clinic or hospital, I have watched Cuomo's daily address where I have seen him identifying his family as if they were normal, everyday members of the working class. He speaks of how the coronavirus could affect his mom, his sister, as if they live just like an everyday New Yorker does. He wants to position himself as the progressive antidote to Donald Trump. But this hunk of a millionaire is the same person who has been integral to hospitals in the state being shut down, leading to an overall reduction in hospital beds. Peculiarly, New York City is now scrambling to make makeshift hospital sites for the influx of new patients that will need to be treated. This is the same man who pushed a plan to cut Medicaid spending by some $400 million during a pandemic. The same man who uses prison labor to bottle hand sanitizer and refuses to release inmates from overcrowded jails even as coronavirus spreads. At the same time, this man pretends to care about the working class. He appoints private equity vultures like William Mulroe and Stephen Cohen as key individuals in rebuilding New York's economy. He is not one of us. Buddy, Mr. Cuomo, I'm talking directly to you. Your family knows nothing about the hardship working class families are enduring. You know nothing about the struggle of working class New Yorkers and what they face. You know nothing about the struggles of the patient I spoke with today who is currently living in one of the overcrowded shelters in New York City, pregnant with coronavirus. One of the shelters that's so crowded because you and every other capitalist politician allow hundreds of thousands of apartments in New York City to stay vacant so your elite friends can turn a profit. Now that we see coronavirus exposing all of the contradictions of the capitalist system, billionaires want to pretend we are all in the equal fight against the virus. They are suggesting that we're all in this together. Bezos recently suggested that the public donate to the company's Amazon Relief Fund established to support workers under financial distress during this time. Amazon's child company, Whole Foods, suggested that workers share sick leave with other workers who need to take time off. Meanwhile, these companies pay $0 in taxes. The world's richest man, who runs a company that is worth over $1 trillion, could individually cover any expense every one of his employees have and not even bat an eyelash. If anything, we should take every dime this criminal has accumulated by exploiting his workers and give it back to the public. We are all fighting in this together, as the corporate elite likes to claim, yet hospitals are postponing buying ventilators because they are concerned about their bottom line, despite the coming catastrophe healthcare workers like myself know is on the horizon. We are all in this together. Yet investment bankers are pushing medical supply companies and drug firms to consider ways they can increase profits during the crisis. The only positive I see in this pandemic is it's finally exposing capitalism for what it is, a parasitic system run by a parasitic class that does not give a shit about the planet or the general public. Working people need to stick together during this crisis, but we also need to understand who our enemies are. And those enemies are the capitalists and the economic system that has led us into this mess in the first place. And don't forget that.